Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Carter, and welcome to the mushroom rocks of Kansas. We're about maybe 20 miles west of Salina, Kansas, in the rolling prairie. But here we are. We can see there's a action area where there's a little creek that's cut through the land, and when it did cut through these mostly horizontal sandstones, revealed these very interesting boulders that possess a very interesting sedimentary texture. Just be careful, there's some of the biggest poison ivy I've ever seen in my life here. What are we looking at? You can actually see in these multiple sedimentary structures. This one's clearly not in place because it's there's a fairly tilted. But you can also see some very evident cross-bedding here, and you can see that there's sort of cross-bedding within sort of larger, thicker packets of layering. Now here's one that's in place. You start to get a little picture of what's happening. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any acid with me. Otherwise, I'd pour some on one of these boulders, and you'd probably see it fizz. What we'll do is get a little up close and personal with one or two of these, and see what we can spot. Fortunately, they've gotten a little vandalized. So, what you see here, if you get up close and personal, is a sandstone. Most of the rocks in Kansas are roughly horizontal, sedimentary rocks representing various ages of time when this was an interior seaway, mostly spanning between, can't remember the exact dates, and the stuff, and over time, coinciding with the uplift of the Rocky Mountains, and thereafter, this area began to rise as well, and then was subject to erosion. Sometime in the intervening periods, when they had the sand being deposited, after the sand got deposited, but before the stuff got eroded away, you had saturated groundwater, and you had calcite crystals growing in the groundwater in the pore spaces between the individual sand grains. And this sort of acted as an extra little cement so that when erosion, mechanical erosion from this little creek down below us here started to run its course, it started to erode things that it sort of, it was able to erode the stuff that was not cemented by these large grossy calcite a lot more quickly than it was the things that were cemented, creating these rocks that look like mushrooms. These are what we call concretions, and they're quite common in certain types of sandstones that have been exposed to certain types of conditions, and they're one of those things that can potentially form during the diagenetic process. Because remember, all sandstones start as sand. Sand is a very loose material, but sandstones can be as solid and hard as any rock out there. So clearly, some of the burial and cooking in the rocks is what allows them to basically stick together, and sometimes if there's calcite involved, you get these very large balls of calcite. Now these happen to be extra large concretions we're looking at. This one's over 10 feet tall, and it's unfortunately been vandalized by a bunch of people who do not care as much about things as I do, but yeah. And so, hope you enjoy everything we're seeing here.